The latest expansion to Alien Colonial Marines. We're in the pipe 5x5. Will Spunkmeyer and Corporal Pharaoh actually make it to the drop zone this time? Hello and welcome to The Lucky Roll, an eclectic channel for eclectic games, and today we're going to be unboxing the latest Aliens Colonial Marines expansion by Gale Force 9. We're in the pipe 5x5. This is included with the second printing of the Aliens Colonial Marine, and it focuses on the crew of the dropship. So we're in the pipe 5x5 are one of the more famous lines issued or uttered by Corporal Pharaoh as she was on her way with the dropship to pick up the survivors of the Sulaco expedition to LV-426. It's kind of interesting that when I was looking up the movie again to kind of reacquaint myself with these characters, that Pharaoh is a corporal. In my experience, pilots have always been officers, so the fact that a corporal is flying what is a multi-million euro or dollar dropship to pick up survivors is surprising to me, but nevertheless, because I was a corporal myself, so the idea of me flying something like that for the Irish Air Corps was just laughable. Anyway, so Corporal Pharaoh has the pilot experience track for the Aliens Colonial Marines game. So when you're playing this game, the two characters obviously have their own mission, but they also have support missions in the main game. So Corporal Pharaoh gives a pilot experience track, and Spunkmeyer, who interestingly in the novelization lied about his age to enlist in the Colonial Marines, has the quartermaster track, so he would kind of give a support aspect to it. You also have 4 new aliens. You've got the Brute, the Guard, the Scout, and the Skulker. So it's a nice little shake-up of the whole franchise, and again, you can see that it's a game that's made by fans of the film, for fans of the film, because here with the Bug Stomper, you have just the tiny little thing here, we endanger species. So there is a lot of lore and love in this, especially here. You have some of Corporal Pharaoh's more famous quotes here. So with no further ado, let's unbox this game and see what we have inside. So, unboxing the expansion for the very first time, we are greeted with some new tactical cards. We are greeted with the sprue for Spunkmeyer and Pharaoh. So let's have a quick look at the detail. So obviously this is Pharaoh. My apologies, this is actually Spunkmeyer. So it's probably the part where he was coming up, and he's armed with a small pistol, as you can see here. So you can see here that it's the moment, his last moment on screen is when he puts his hand into the kind of the residue of an egg, and he has, of course, his Marconi or his comms on him. So he's obviously in contact with Corporal Pharaoh, who's telling him to hurry up because they're trying to evac the lads. And you have up here, of course, Corporal Pharaoh in her jumpsuit and in her helmet with, of course, the aviator glasses. So there's lovely details on these minis here, and of course it is the usual lovely little touch. You also have Corporal Pharaoh without the helmet, so that's a nice little thing I did not expect to see. And she is of course as well armed with a sidearm, which is actually really cool in the film, because the last images you see her pulling her sidearm, and then the alien goes mad trying to kill her. So as you can see, there's lovely detail here on the 2 Marine characters, and the addition of a jumpsuit of someone who, if you're someone who likes to paint these Marines, will make for a nice little interesting deviation. We have here, of course, the aliens themselves. We've got the Brute, the Skulker, the Stalker, and they do come in little bits again, but of course they're fortunately painted black. So even if you're someone who doesn't paint the minis, you know, you're not going to be puzzling over which one is which. And of course they have here the types of aliens listed. So you've got the Brute, you've got the Stalker, you've got the Scout, and you've got the Guard. So again, lovely detail on all these little minis. So the next thing we have is more cards. We have what I presume is the pilot. Nope, this is the track. So as you can see here, you've got the APC making its way in, and you have a new mission, Survive. We have here the actual rule book. So it's only 8 pages long, and there's updated missions, so that's interesting. You have updated missions here, no doubt to include the actual characters, and you have the bug hunts. More actual aspect on the experience cards, fire teams, alien variants, and you have a components list here as well. So you've got all the experience cards, hive mind cards, blip tokens, dropship and air duct game board. So there is a dropship game board in here, mission cards by 2, and air duct tokens and entrances. So that is quite interesting. And you have here stats for the new bad guy aliens. We have the assembly guide for the actual aliens here, so nice and straightforward. Just a singular sheet on both sides. We have here the cardboard tokens, which are good solid quality cardboard. So we've got 1 to 4, we've got Brute Guard, Scout, Skulker to help you easily identify. You've got exits, and you've got different entrances, I presume for the air ducts. You have the 2 new cards for Pharaoh and Spunkmeyer. So yep, again, it's interesting that a corporal is flying a dropship, but nevertheless, whenever you play a star car, you may recycle 1 card, so you have her stats here. And you have Spunkmeyer. Now this is interesting. This is Spunkmeyer before this poor man. This were literally his second last words on Earth. What's this crap supposed to be? He said that to himself before he said the door's closing, and then he got ate by the alien. And this, of course, is Corporal Pharaoh with Spunkmeyer in the background. So, and you have a nice little alternative view of them as well. So here is, this is an interesting line. She said to, I think Vasquez asked her who's Snow White, and she replied that she was some sort of consultant. And here is a nice little image of Spunkmeyer, and fair play to them for finding this image, because I didn't remember that actual still from the movie. So you also have here the new board. So this is the dropship, which is interesting. So I presume this is where Corporal Pharaoh is, and where they board. And you have here what seems to be the air ducts. So when you're trying to escape and find your way to the dropship. So that's actually quite interesting. It's a good solid board, and that's everything that's in it. So we'll put these things back, and we'll have a quick look at the mission bit itself. We won't go at the cards because we'll save some surprises for people who do buy the game. But opening this, they're lovely quality, kind of, they're not paper and they're not cardboard, they're kind of a plastic kind of paper, so it's quite durable. So you have here Mission Tree Survive with the sentry guns. You have of course the usual stills, and you have the air duct board with face huggers, which I think is just a fantastic little idea to bring into the game. So that's a lovely little touch, because I remember that's where Vasquez and the lieutenant, I can't think of his name, but Vasquez and the lieutenant, who was, I think he was only his first real drop, or second combat drop, sorry, that led the poorly ill-fated team. And we have here another aspect for Mission Tree Survive. So you've got the board outlay here, you've got the exit here for the actual dropship, and the air conductors up here, and of course a nice little layout. And we have Mission 2.5, the chase. So this is interesting. So you've got the APC here, and it's of course trying to make its way. So you've got an updated aspect on the chase, which is a really cool part of the game. And you have, yep, the rest of the information here. So there's nice, it's worth picking up from looks alone, because there's a couple of nice little things here, and it's nice to fill out the entire crew with both Spunkmeyer and Pharaoh. And we have, of course, here the experience cards and the alien hive mind cards. So we'll look, I said we wouldn't, but we'll have a quick sneak peek at the actual experience cards here, because you've got a quartermaster track for Spunkmeyer, I presume, and the pilot track for Pharaoh. So we have, we'll check, because he's no doubt younger, because he's enlisted, too young, we'll check out Spunkmeyer. So I got something for this. When this character equips equipment or weapons, they cost 1 less. You have on activation, you may draw a card. Once per turn, you may exchange 1 card in your hand for 1 card from another player's hand. You've got equipment assignments. Once per turn, you may choose 2 characters within 3 spaces within each other, and they may exchange equipments. Always keep a spare. After you discard an M40 grenade card, you reveal 1 of 2 cards. You've got a tool for everything, which allows you to exhaust and search the exhaust pile for a weapon. You've got not the intended purpose, so once per turn you can exhaust an equipment card and reroll a die. You have resourceful, whereas once per turn you may draw a card, and if you have a quartermaster card, you can do it twice. And you have explosive personality. When making an attack with an M40 grenade, your attack hits and rolls of 7 or less, and discard 2 cards to recycle 1 M40 grenade from the discard pile. Now that was Spunkmeyer's quartermaster. We have here Pharaoh's pilot card, so you've got Speedy Retreat. If this character takes a move action whilst within 2 spaces of the alien model, they gain +1 speed for that move. You've got Pilot in the Pipe. On activation, you may reveal a card. You may exhaust any number of cards, then search the exhaust pile for an event that costs 1 or less and add it to your hand. You've Quick Reflexes, which allows you to move 2 spaces, recycle 2 cards, and take an aim action. Expect the unexpected. Once per turn, if a blip token would spawn within line of sight of this character may move 2 spaces. And we've got Pilot, 5x5 in the Pipe. At the start of your activation, you may recycle 2 cards from your hands. If you do, you may search the exhaust pile for an event card and add it to your hand. You also have Keen Senses. At the start of your activation, you may draw a card and take a free aim action. 3 into the unknown. Whenever you play an event card, you may reveal a card. And finally, you have Evasive Maneuvers. Add 1 to this character's speed and defense. So she's certainly a good person to get you out of a tight spot. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was everything in the Aliens Bug Stomper in the Pipe 5x5 expansion. On first glance, seems excellent, and please stay tuned to this channel because we do plan to have a nice overview of the entire series. So until next time, this is Sean from The Lucky Roll. As always, if you enjoyed these videos, please like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and until next time, good luck, God bless, and stay safe.